All right, and we're live. Welcome everybody to the Sharpshooting podcast. I know you guys are surprised to see this, whoever watches. But we're back, and we couldn't miss another pay-per-view, so we had to do this one, and hopefully, this will be the start of us getting back on schedule. I promise. I promise. Um, Say what's up to the people, Pete.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again. Another pay-per-view. We're gonna like Mike just said, we are gonna try and get back for Raws and stuff. Just gotta work out times, but glad to be back and covering some more WWE content.
Definitely, definitely, and I think we picked a pretty interesting one to come back to.
Yeah?
Because oh my god, I I really don't know, Pete. I really don't know. So had an interesting SummerSlam with the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, that controversial finish, which WWE's pretty much kind of ignored, up until now, until we got the announcement of the what was it called again? The Brock Lesnar tour.
The something hell. The Oh my god. This is gonna annoy me now. It's something hell. It's like the journey of hell, the trip of hell.
Yeah. Shit. What did he call that? Yeah, the tour, whatever the hell tour is supposed to be. Um, in any event, they're going to be fighting. Uh, and we pretty much have been told that they're going to be doing a Hell in the Cell match because WWE did not, I repeat, did not do a good job of masking that. So I'll be interested to see how the setup is actually going to be for that match because they've pretty much told us what's going to happen in a month. Brock's going to
Yeah,
go to 4 different locations, and the last one's going to be in Texas in a Hell in a Cell match.
yeah, it's the Go to Hell tour. So
Yes,
that's
there
what
we
they're
go.
calling it. So that's the next pay-per-view, just in a nutshell, the main event. Pointed out.
Yeah, definitely. But before we get to that, we have a pay-per-view that was I don't really know.
Mixed feelings is that's the easiest way to put it. Like, you're not terribly upset, but you're not overly happy.
Yeah, I'm just really scratching my head to be quite honest.
Like, what just happened, sort of thing. So, as people who watch the podcast regularly know, we don't really talk much of the pre-show, and we're definitely not going to do that today because, to be quite honest with you, I had it running, but I didn't even bother paying attention to it. So
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, pre-show could be wrapped up really quick in the sense that uh Cody got a win. I still call him Cody because he's Cody, god damn it. Not Stardust. Him and the Ascension, the Cosmic Wasteland. Fuck. Oh my god. They beat Adrian Neville and the Lucha Dragons, who were pretty much just botching up everything in the world. Adrian Neville was on point, but the Lucha Dragons, god damn it. Those guys know
yeah,
how to botch.
Sin Cara is very botchy. Like, I don't know if he's lazy or what it is. It's his. I feel it's his size. Like, his size just doesn't allow him to be a high flyer. But regardless, Stardust got a win, which is a rarity these days in the WWE. How often do you hear Stardust getting a pinfall win? Ridiculous. But we'll talk the main show because I know that's what everyone's come here to see, to hear the opinions of. And we'll start from the start. I got the list here of the order of matches, so we'll just roll down the exact same path the show went, and we'll start with the first match of the night, and that was Ryback versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, to be honest with this match, for me personally, Ryback isn't exactly the best champion. Like, since Daniel Bryan released his title and Ryback got it, really nothing interesting has happened with Ryback. I mean, he was stuck in that terrible feud with the Big Show and the Miz that ran for months, and now he's in a current feud with Kevin Owens. So this was a great opportunity for Kevin Owens to win his first title, and the match wasn't awfully bad, I wouldn't say. I don't know. Whenever I see Ryback, to be honest, I kind of lose interest a bit. But Kevin Owens kept me watching throughout the match.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens. He's gonna do his thing. Ryback. It's funny because they're showing the replay now, and I'm looking at it, and it's just like Ryback's just he's Ryback. I don't have anything really against Ryback, but he's really just not. He's very limited in his movesets, and when you're fighting against somebody like Kevin Owens, who can do a lot of creative things for his size, it's a weird pacing type of thing.
Yeah,
Ryback doesn't really. He doesn't know how to pace matches really. And when you have somebody who's like a veteran like Kevin Owens, who can go any pace and who knows how to like tell a story, it's kind of awkward because Ryback only knows like when he's just supposed to do something powerful. I feel,
Yeah, so where that is all Ryback is really. It's just his strength.
Yeah, definitely.
So the match was half decent. I mean, the ending was a bit, to be honest, dodgy. I think they made Kevin Owens look a bit. So, like, I understand that he's a heel and everything, but I don't know. It wasn't the ending I was expecting. Regardless, Kevin Owens ended up. I think like the whole match, Kevin Owens was attacking that one arm. I think it was the left arm of Ryback for basically the entirety of the match. And I knew it was going to get to the point where Ryback would go to do something and the arm would limit him. But that happened once. They didn't really play on that too much. Instead, I think at the very end, Ryback went for the shell shock, and then Kevin Owens gouged his eyes and then did a roll up. And there you have it. You got a new Intercontinental Champion in Kevin Owens. I said this after the match that this, like, I thought that it would be Kevin Owens' first title, but it never should have been. Kevin Owens, when he versed John Cena in his first match, it should have been for the United States, and he should have won it then. But it's taken a while, but finally he's got his hands on a singles belt in the WWE.
And it's an ominous title because I feel like when new people come in and get the Intercontinental title, it's like it's a wall. It becomes a wall for them. Like I think about when they split up the Wyatt family. First thing they did was give Luke Harper the Intercontinental belt, and he just went nowhere. Big E, once they finally decided to separate him from Dolph Ziggler, they gave him the Intercontinental title, and he went nowhere for a while. I feel like now, I know they're trying to make it seem like a prestigious thing, but I feel like they still don't know what to do with any title that's not the WWE Championship at this moment. I think the New Day has rescued the tag team titles and to put that in a good position. Now they need someone to rescue the Intercontinental title. Maybe Kevin Owens is that guy. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll definitely see how his run goes and how long he keeps it and whatnot and what's in store. But Intercontinental Championship, I mean, it started to gain some value when Bryan had it, but after Bryan was forced to release it and Ryback picked it up, we didn't know where it was going from there. And it's just good to see a fresh face on that belt and hopefully good things to come. So there you have it. In the first match, you got a new Intercontinental Champion. Things are looking up for the show, to be honest. From that point, you're thinking, okay, this is it. So you move after that match, you move straight along, and this isn't even a championship match. This is the first thing. Why it was even at this pay-per-view is the second thing. So over the last few weeks on Raw and SmackDown, they've had the whole Dolph Ziggler Summer Rae thing where it's like he's kind of like in love with Summer Rae. and he's lying to Lana or some nonsense like that, which is ridiculous. This whole Dolph Ziggler and Lana and Rusev and Summer Rae, that thing needs to end as soon as possible. But they had this whole thing, and it's Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev in what was probably, could I say, the worst match of the pay-per-view? Is that a fair assessment? Like, it just didn't do anything. It had
I
no
guess it was
reason to
the
be
worst
there.
match. If you don't count pre-show stuff, yeah.
But at least the pre-show stuff kind of made sense for being there. There was no sense in it. Regardless, Dolph Ziggler, Rusev. Rusev has been irrelevant since he lost the belt. Ziggler is someone that can't push past the, like, as we say each and every time, he's the most popular jobber going around.
Yeah.
But the match really held nothing, and again, it's just teasing the whole Summer Rae, Dolph Ziggler getting together sort of thing. Speaking of that, during the match, there was a moment where I think Dolph Ziggler I think Rusev hit his move, and then Dolph Ziggler was going to return a move or do something, and Summer Rae got up on the ring apron, and then ended up getting flinged into the ring. Stupid.
Yeah, then they kicked her out for getting flung in the ring. I'm like, what?
Yeah, she was ejected, and then she goes to throw her shoe at the WWE official, like the referee, and he ducks, and it hits Rusev. Dolph Ziggler hits him with the zigzag. Dolph Ziggler wins. That's it. This match, to be honest, I would have been quite happy skipping over it, but I thought people would like to know the result. In my opinion, this match should never have made it to the pay-per-view. That's just me. If you got anything to add to that match, that would be kind of handy.
No, it was a match. That's
and the storyline?
Dolph, okay, good job. Rusev is now still floundering. It did nothing. Did nothing. Like the whole beginning, like, okay, I'm cool with Kevin Owens getting the title. I didn't care for the finish, but hey, Kevin Owens got his title, so good on him. And in this match, it was just like, what? This drama, nah.
Yeah,
it didn't bode well, and at least for me at this point, I didn't feel like this pay-per-view was getting off to a good start.
So we're gonna leave that behind. I hope we never have to speak about it. But let's face it, that storyline is going to be around for a while longer. So we'll go to match 3, and this is basically where we can get to some of the more media stuff. So match 3 was the tag team championship match. You had the New Day versus the Dudley Boys. Good to see the Dudley Boys back. Of course, I said this to you, Mike, while we were watching that. Devon Dudley, I don't know. He looks kind of bad now. Like, I feel like Bubba Ray is like some animal in the ring, but then Devon's not that great. But the match still entertaining. The New Day have been incredibly entertaining as of late. And what was that haircut that Xavier Woods was rocking? That Sideshow Bob looking thing with the red hair.
Good question. Xavier Woods, he looked like a fucking cartoon character. I was like, what in the world is wrong with? I give him style points for matching it to his outfit, but I was just like, what are you doing? And remember, we were talking on Skype during the thing, and you heard me say, what in the hell? And I'm just like, wait till you see this beat. Oh my God. Again, hats off to Xavier Wood. The look even made it better with his antics on the outside. He's a fucking, like, oh my God, the dude knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to work them.
Yeah, definitely. And the whole Save the Tables campaign was just pretty much irrelevant for most of the thing. But The match itself, pretty entertaining. Of course, you got Big E and Kofi doing all the wrestling versus Bubba Ray and Devon. I thought the match was a reasonable time. You said you kind of like the ending. You kind of understood. For me, the ending was kind of irritating. I can't stand disqualifications, especially in a group like the New Day, where it could happen potentially every single week.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
but I mean, that's what heels are supposed to do. Like, if you can't beat them, cheat them. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, and they did that. It's like, hey, we're about to lose this thing. Let's get out here. Let's keep our belt. And it's a good, to me, it was a good ending in the fact that it legitimizes them going back up against each other at Hell in the Cell. And it kind of looks like at least from my perspective, I feel like they're going to have like another they're probably going to have another disqualification or something is going to happen in this one that's going to call for a third match, because why wouldn't you want to have 3D in the pay-per-view that they created? You know what I mean? They created TLC, so why not have them go for the titles in TLC?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, I hadn't really looked at the list of pay-per-views to see where they could slot in and win their 10th tag team championship, but that is definitely a good place to do it. So, the ending of this match, I thought it was pretty cool at the start. I don't know if this is true, but JBL said that no one has ever kicked out of the 3D. I'm pretty sure that doesn't sound correct, but it could be.
I can't recall anyone ever kicking out of the 3D. I honestly can't say that I've ever seen anybody kick out of the 3D in my life. It makes sense. It makes sense that you would see somebody disrupt the count rather than kick out. Because I really can't think of who would have kicked out of the 3D.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, but and yeah, at the end, as we said, Xavier, I'm not sure if it's Bubba or Devon that was going for the pin. I'm pretty sure it was Bubba was going for the pin, and then Xavier Woods ends up stomping on his back, instant disqualification, and then the New Day get their belts. They're beating up the Dudley Boys, and then you hear. I think it's Kofi and Big E said at the same time. It's like, Xavier, get the tables. Xavier ends up getting the tables and setting it up, and he's doing the whole trumpet thing. While he's doing that, the Dudley Boys end up getting up, putting Xavier Woods through the table with a 3D, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, it's always good to see someone. I knew someone was going to go through a table. Like, there's no way you're going to have the Dudley Boys and someone not to go through a table. They just had to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming, but we loved seeing them 3D people through the table. So it was like one of those. Yeah, we saw it coming, but whatever. It's fucking,
It's a good thing to see coming, in a way. Like, it's going to happen, but you still look forward to it.
Exactly.
As opposed to sometimes with certain superstars, they're going to do something, and when they do it, you're just irritated. So overall,
Exactly.
I'm glad to see the Dudley Boys back. Great tag team for the longest, and hopefully more great matches to come between these two tag teams. So, moving along to match 4, Nikki Bella versus Charlotte for the Divas Championship. Now, for everyone that doesn't know, you should know by now, Nikki Bella has broke AJ Lee's record for longest reigning WWE Diva of all time. I think she was this was day 301, I think. I'm pretty sure it was 301. And she was Charlotte, obviously being Ric Flair's daughter. They had the match on Raw. I hadn't seen that, but ended up seeing the replay where Charlotte, like Nikki Bella, swaps with Brie Bella doing the twin magic, which is illogical. We've said this during previous pay-per-views where they've done the twin magic recently because it doesn't make sense. But Charlotte ended up pinning Brie Bella instead of Nikki, and Nikki gets to hold on to her belt and break AJ Lee's reign as the longest reigning Divas champion. Regardless, this match was pretty short, to be honest. Like, it didn't feel like it went for long. In fact, I'm pretty sure it felt maybe 5 minutes. How long did this thing? It felt like maybe 5 to 8 minutes.
It actually went for a good amount of time. It went I think it went about 15 minutes.
Oh, did it? It felt quick. Like, it felt lightning quick. It felt like I blinked and it was over.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It had a good amount of length. See, the thing I didn't like was that they tried to like have the working the injury. I feel like they're listening to too many people say that wrestlers need to learn how to work an injury during a match, because I feel like it's being manufactured. In every match, it seems like everybody wants to attack a body part, and that body part really doesn't have much significance to the end. I feel like they were like trying to build up like Nikki hurting her so much to show her resiliency. I feel like they're working that angle way too much.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, you saw it earlier in the night with RAIDMAX.
Exactly, with RAIDMAX.
So it went on to Charlotte and her leg. Nikki was hitting it continuously. I will say this match wasn't the best. I can definitely say that it wasn't a great match. Obvious things lacked. I mean, the result at the end of the day was probably the best one. The best outcome, I reckon. Nikki Bella ended up losing her title. Charlotte wins with the figure 8. And you have a new Divas champion. I think that is right. I think it was time. Nikki Bella, realistically, the WWE already had her holding the belt for so long. They just held on to her, retaining it to beat AJ's record, to get her out of the record book, so they could replace her with someone that's still on the roster. And a fresh face is always good as Divas champion. But I think the thing that annoyed me the most is you have a diva that's held the title for so long, and for her to just go simply into a submission and tap and fade into the night, it just... I don't think it sits right for me personally. Like, I said while watching the match, it would have been nice if, say, while Charlotte had the figure 8, Nikki reversed it and, like, I don't know, put strain or at least attempted to break out, as opposed to just laying there and tapping instantly, like something like that. Like if you guys remember with Ric Flair, what they would do when he had the figure 4 in is roll over onto their stomachs, and it would reverse the pressure onto Ric Flair.
You know what? The funny thing is, I was happy with that only because I didn't want her to have the fucking title anyway. So hey,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, realistically, it's a good change. It's a fresh change. It's something that's needed. Now it opens the division a lot more. Charlotte can be fighting the women from NXT. She can be fighting just everyone just comes back into the equation, and it's open. But yeah, like I said, just maybe allow Nikki to be a little bit more resilient before you take the belt. That's just me nitpicking, really. But there was a touching moment at the end, obviously, when you had Ric Flair come to the ring. I don't know how he got to the ring so fast, because I've seen Ric Flair walk to the ring on Raw every week, and he takes a lot longer than what he did when he got to that ring after she won the belt. I thought he flew.
Hey, alcoholism and kind of it wears on you. Love Ric Flair, definitely. Yeah, the dude pretty much partied himself to that situation.
Yeah, no, he is looking mighty old. But yeah, nice touching moment with him, obviously with his daughter crying, happy she's won the title. I mean, it's her first major belt in the WWE. I mean, obviously she won. She was the NXT Women's Champion, but this is a whole different level. This is the main Divas Championship. So nice moment, and they were actual real tears, which makes
I
it
thought
that
that
much more
was a
meaningful.
really sweet touch that they were really crying during that whole thing. I thought that was really cool.
But I think they had the same reaction on Raw the previous night.
Yeah, it kind of, sort of, they were getting there, but it didn't go all the way because, of course, Stephanie had to be, you know, she had to do her thing and be a bitch, talking about the integrity.
Yeah, but nice change. I literally can't wait to see what this does for the Divas division. The two things I want to mention, obviously, you're going to have Nikki Bella request a rematch. We'll see where that goes, but they need to break these groups up. I think it limits the Divas division having groups.
Definitely. I mean, I think a couple,
like Team
okay
Bella doesn't hurt. Team Bella doesn't hurt, but think about
I'm okay with Team Bad, even though I hate the name.
Yeah,
that kind of makes you need one or two heel factions. I don't like Alicia Fox shouldn't be with the Bellas. The Bellas are gonna always be together. Like Team Bad having Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha hang out. Although I feel like Sasha's gonna break away from that really fast.
Yeah. The thing I feel like having the group with Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Paige is very limiting because obviously Paige could be contending for the Divas Championship, but now being in the group, she'll have to sit back to the side.
Yeah, and like watch her back. Same thing with Becky Lynch. It's like, okay, now we're just
bodyguards.
We're just watching her Charlotte's back.
Yeah,
they could be doing a lot of good matches against each other.
So WWE need to do that sooner rather than later. But like I said, we're just going to have to wait to see what the WWE do. It'll all come to fruition basically on Raw. We'll see how they line things up. So at that point, that's your second title change of the night already. Just like that. You've had two titles shoot across. So on to the fifth match of the night. This was the six-man tag team match. Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, the Wyatt family, versus Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and a mystery partner. And if anyone in the world actually could guess this person, this mystery partner, I'd be very surprised.
I tweeted that whoever guessed this, I need you to come to Vegas with me because you are clearly good at what you do. And it's funny because a couple of people tweeted me back. Apparently, this was one of the rumors that was going around. I'd never heard it, but even if it was a rumor going around, I still say my hat's off to those who sniffed out this rumor because,
Yeah, no, I got nothing. I can't.
I would have laughed in your face if you would have walked to me and said, their like mystery partner is Chris Jericho, right? Right?
Yeah, no, I would have done the exact same thing. Like, that's not even a joke. I would have said, like, yeah, okay, nice one.
Yeah.
So Chris Jericho's the mystery partner, and this match actually wasn't too bad. I feel like the only thing that irritates me about this is that Roman Reigns was a top person. Now he's slammed back to the bottom of the card. Dean Ambrose, despite all his popularity, can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Like I said to you earlier, I kind of understand it because it's their whole let's tear them down so we can build them back up type of theory, which kind of makes sense. But I also think like they're kind of drawing out certain angles too long. Like this between him and Bray Wyatt is kind of stale at this point.
Well, it's been going since Money in the Bank.
Yeah, exactly. They've both been toiling against each other in these. It's just like the motivation is waning to me.
Yeah, so
It's they really need to come to an end with this and let these guys move on.
yeah, so you had Chris Jericho returning to wrestling. Really, I remember on his podcast he said that he does a fair bit of house shows and stuff, but he's never on the main TV, like on Raw or whatever. But he was wrestling pretty well, and the crowd seemed to love his return. Everyone seemed to love his return, to be pretty honest. And this match, again, it didn't feel like it went overly too long. It felt like it went about the right amount of time.
It had a
I think
weird flow to it to me.
yeah, no, that's a fair point. The key moment had to be in this match, late in the match, when they're all attacking Braun Strowman, when Roman Reigns hits him with a Superman punch, and then he's still standing. He hits him with another one, and then Dean Ambrose jumps off the top rope, and then it's like it sets up for Roman Reigns to the spear, and everything's looking fine and dandy, and then Chris Jericho tags himself in, and at that point, he just runs and does the lion salt. Obviously, it's caused tension between the group simply because you in tag teams, if you tag yourself in, it's obviously you don't like the other person. So after that, he tries to pin, kick out at 2. Then after that, I don't know what happened to Dean Ambrose, by the way. He hit that like move off the top rope and then disappeared. Like he just ended up like I can't even explain to you. Like you saw Roman Reigns get pulled down by Bray Wyatt and thrown into the barricade. You saw nothing happen to Dean Ambrose. He just jumped off the top rope and then just laid on the ground.
I think he did that in honor of Roman Reigns, since Roman Reigns is accustomed to taking naps before matches. I think he felt like, you know what, I'm going to take the nap this time in your honor.
Just a shout out to Roman Reigns,
right?
Paying homage, but Chris Jericho ends up getting put into. I don't know what the move's called, to be honest, but what is it, like a sleeper hold or a choke hold or something? It's like holding the arm. I honestly, for the life of me, couldn't tell you the name, but Jericho doesn't tap. It got close. It got to the point where I thought Jericho was going to break out of it because the crowd's gone mental and he looked like his feet was about to touch the ground. But regardless, Jericho passes out. I think that's the easiest way to put it.
It was very weird because it was like he taps and he like tags himself in, like just weirdly.
Yeah, he was waiting a while too. It wasn't like he tagged himself in straight away. He kind of sat behind.
Yeah,
he just
it was like
sat
he really,
there for
really
a while.
waited, and then all of a sudden, out of like, and then the ending.
Yeah. So, Braun Strowman, the Wyatt family win. They shoot off, and then you see Chris Jericho's on the ground, and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are just looking at him. At that point, I heard you say that are they going to like beat him up or something? I mean, that would have been, I guess, understandable in a way. Not very, because they're both faces, but regardless, it's just awkward tension for a while before Chris Jericho just like barges through the middle of them. So I don't know what that's setting up for Jericho in this picture. Like where does it put him with the group? Where does it put this whole Bray Wyatt thing? Like it's just at a complete loss. So I don't know. Is Jericho turning heel, or is it Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose that are like becoming? How do I put it? I can't word it. You can't word it because there's no way you can tell what the storyline is going to be. You're going to have to wait for Raw to see what Chris Jericho has to say.
Yeah. Are they trying to do a Jericho Reigns, Jericho Ambrose angle,
I'm not too
It's
sure.
like they both have legitimate beef. Who's gonna take the beef?
Yeah, because at the start of the match they were all friendly, but after the match, I think it was the tag in part that disrupted the tag team flow, and that's all it really takes, really. So, regardless, this is another one of those matches where you actually do have to wait till Raw to find out progresses. WWE have actually been pretty solid at that. Like, to be honest, they always find basically a little shred of a match, like a little loose tie that you have to wait until Raw to find out how it ties together. Even though 9 times out of 10 it's always stupid, you still want to watch Raw to find out.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Raw is going to give a lot of answers to that, I think.
Yeah, so I think at this point, we're down to the final 2 matches of the night, and of course, both include Seth Rollins. We were very surprised that Seth Rollins went back to back. I really did think he was going to go have a match earlier in the night and then finish with the main event, but WWE set it up that he has one match straight into another. So the first match is Seth Rollins versus John Cena for the United States Championship. Now, what I thought Rollins was going to do was kind of just, in a way, lose deliberately. Now, I know to some people that may sound retardedly stupid, but think about it. Why would Seth Rollins want to carry around the United States belt?
I mean, other than the ego trip it gave him over John Cena, yeah,
you're getting 2 matches every time. So, regardless, this match wasn't too bad. There are a few cool moments, as always. I feel like Seth Rollins and John Cena matches have improved a lot. They're starting to gain some good chemistry together. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Cena's actually, I can honestly say he's improved as a wrestler a fair bit. Like, he's starting to do more. He used to be so very limited, but now he can do a few more things.
I think it's his whole change in how he's going about things. It's like he's the top, but he's not acting like somebody who's at the top. And he seems to be a little bit more willing.
Yeah.
To concede to his opponents. Like, I just feel like he is just not. He's in a better place now. He's a lot more willing to give the other guy the opportunity to showcase themselves instead of trying to make sure he goes over, and the whole Cena brand, the whole never give up thing dominates the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's helped him in a way because he's able to focus more on not just being the brand, but being a wrestler. I think he's better off being right below being the second tier guy at this point in his career.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, obviously he's still got another 1 or 2 World Heavyweight Championship reigns up his sleeve, to be honest, because we all know he's going to break Ric Flair. But also, quick fun little note. The John Cena never give up thing is actually WWE's way of covering. Like, he never gives up. I actually read a while ago, and I saw footage of in 2003 he actually tapped out to Kurt Angle. So there you go. I thought he never tapped out. He did. But with this match, like I said, it really did. Seth Rollins hanged in a lot longer than I thought he would, and Cena ended up hitting him with the AA. This after he hit him with got the STF in. He got that in. Seth Rollins ended up getting to the ropes, and there were some cool moves in between the start and the end. One of them was when Seth Rollins hit the superplex and then instantly bounced back up and gave him another suplex.
The way he sprung him up was ridiculous because it was such a smooth, fluid motion from the top
Yeah.
rope to the mat, right back up, and then to a front face suplex.
Yeah, no, that was really clean, and we can't disagree with that. So, end of the match, Cena hits the AA, wins back his United States Championship. I mean, that was probably one of the most predictable, like in terms of titles, because at the end of the day, you knew that. How do I word it? Unless the only way Seth Rollins was walking out with both titles is if he got disqualified against Cena and then beat Sting. But I didn't see how that would work because I would have thought that Cena would interrupt the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match if he got if Seth Rollins DQ'd himself. So Cena wins his belt, he does his little celebration, and then you see Seth Rollins grab the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, go to the ramp to leave. Like, I'm out of here. That's it. I've lost one belt. That's enough. And Cena gets in his way and says, like, look, you got to go back into the ring. You got another match. You're versing Sting. I think at that point, Seth Rollins goes to walk past or something or bumps him. Cena hits Seth Rollins with the AA on the outside of the ring, puts him back in the ring. And then Sting comes for the main event. And this match had its problems straight from the start. Like, the minute Sting went through the table and hit his head, that's when the match was done.
Yeah. It made it very, very awkward. I felt like the finish would have been a lot better.
Clean up.
But after that, Sting was just out of it, and it just made it very awkward. Hats off to Rollins for trying to play up the angle a bit and keep the heel thing going. Most people would have like broke kayfabe extremely quick, but he maintained it. And he kept like, "What's wrong with him? Come on, look at this guy. He needs to get it together. Come on, man. You want to fight? Let's go." You know what I mean? Hats off to Rollins for continually playing the heel role and keeping the match going, at least from a mental standpoint. Even though from a physical standpoint, it really was hard to carry.
Yeah, so I think it's good to note that with this match, when he hit his head the first time, it didn't really affect the match straight away. It wasn't until later in the match where Seth Rollins ended up like last riding in a way into the corner that really affected, because the minute he did that and Sting hit the corner, like the belt buckles, that was it. Because you instantly saw it. Sting tried to move after that, and he was just dropping. He was just going down. Ended up ducking a punch very slowly, might I add, and then dropping to the floor before the medical guy came in and he was assessing Sting, seeing where he was at. But you could tell from that, once he hit that corner, that was it. There was no way that match could have lasted long, because Sting was just completely out of it. And even after that, after he gets back to it, Seth Rollins goes for the pedigree to like wrap it up. You're like, okay, quick. And then Sting reverses it into a submission. I can't remember the submission's name. Do you know the name of that submission?
Of which submission? Oh, the Scorpion Death Drop?
Yeah.
Death Lock,
Yeah.
I mean.
Scorpion
Death Lock.
Yeah. So he gets him in that, and even at that, like while watching that, it's kind of like hard to watch in a way because you can tell that it's not in. Like, as hard as Seth Rollins was playing it up, you could tell it was a very loose grip.
Yeah, because you saw it, and like Sting was kind of hunched over, kind of
dropping in a way. Like it just didn't work, and he hit it again. But then Seth Rollins ends up reversing it into a roll up and getting the pin. So it was a very rushed ending in a way. I think they just wanted to get the match over with and get Sting out of the ring and straight back to the medical team to assess him, because completely out of it. And I think that is why the very end ended the way it did, because they had so much time to go through. Like some extra time to go through. So Rollins retains his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He's celebrating. Everything's looking good. You said prior to the match when the Authority said we're ready. Oh, he's ready, and then Sheamus said he's ready as well, and he's holding the Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you're like he's gonna cash in tonight. Like that was the basic gist. Like they had already given it away in a sense. So while Seth Rollins is celebrating his win, Sheamus music cue comes to the ring, hits him with the Brogue Kick, which was actually pretty crazy. And just as he looks like he's gonna like give the briefcase in, and then basically get the pin, win the championship, Kane's music hits, and Kane returns in his old gear, the Monster Kane, the red mask, everything. He's just all decked out, and he's back. It was a bit weird, to be honest. Like I get where it comes from in the sense that storyline wise, it did make sense. He returns. He wants to beat up Seth Rollins, avenge for his loss. But I think the timing is the problem. Like, why he came while Sheamus was trying to cash in.
Yeah, and it's just like, huh? And it's like, I understand where the beef comes from, but it's just like, huh? Because I feel like now what we're going to end up with is a Kane versus
Sheamus,
Seth
Hell in a Cell.
Rollins for the title at Hell in a Cell, which I don't want to see. You know, Sheamus is still going to be out there lurking in the winds for another title. What Sting's going to be doing, who the hell knows?
Yeah, where to from here for him is beyond me. I think on Raw you're going to have Sheamus versus Kane or something along those lines. Either way, I think it's just created a feud between Sheamus and Kane.
Yeah, and it's like, why is Kane back as like this Kane now?
Yeah, no, it's stupid. So after that, after Kane returns, Sheamus out of the ring, Kane came in, choke slams Rollins, and then Sheamus comes into the ring and says, like, yeah, give him another choke slam, thinking that Kane's helping him win the belt. Kane ends up giving him a choke slam, and that pretty much wraps up the Night of Champions right there. That's how it ends. It ends with both of them laying on the ground and Kane standing tall. But again, where to from here? It was terrible timing in a sense. Like, Sheamus is about to cash in and Kane returns to get his vengeance then. Probably WWE needed a lot better timing.
Yeah. I don't know. It just was very confusing because it was like very concerning that Sting got hurt like that.
Yeah.
That threw that off. It was questionable with Kane coming out. It's like, okay, we're going down this path now. It was like the matches weren't that entertaining for the most part. There was some good back and forth in a couple. I was okay with the Divas. Of course, I like, Dudley Boys versus the New Day. I thought that was a cool match. But for the most part, I mean, the Cena Rollins match probably was the best overall match.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a fair assessment. I would say that was probably my match of the night as well. So as we always do, we have to do it. We have to rate it out of 10. And I'll let you go first, and then I'll do mine, and we'll take it from there.
I want to give it a 6, to be quite honest. It wasn't that good, but I guess a 7. I'll give it a passing grade because it's a decent. It didn't anger me or piss me off. It just was like, okay, you did enough to do a pay-per-view, I guess. You didn't. I mean, a lot of these matches were like Raw matches to me. You know, some of them were SmackDown matches.
I would say Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler is a SmackDown match.
Yeah, it's like that SmackDown match. The pre-show match was definitely a SmackDown match.
Main event, probably.
The Reigns, Ambrose, Jericho, that was a Raw episode.
Yeah, Raw. I mean, you could even
others by default are pay-per-view matches only because
the belt,
the titles.
Yeah. No, that's.
By the way, shout out to Big E and his dancing. I'm watching a replay of the thing, and I forgot Big E, did his stripper imitation again at the end of the match. Big E is
never good.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he is. This tag team has really brought him out. So, you've given it a 7. Yeah, I really struggled to give it a 7. I really strongly do believe it was a 6. I mean, like you said, it didn't really upset or anger me. It was just not overly entertaining. I'll say that the title changing that happened during the match, of course, Kevin Owens winning the belt, Cena getting the belt back, and Charlotte winning the belt, they're good changes. But overall, the matches just weren't anything, like there wasn't an outstanding match, like one that was like, holy shit, like this is why this was on a pay-per-view. To be honest, I felt like the matches just simply made up room because, I don't know, this pay-per-view just kind of felt forced upon, like there was nothing really there. So I'm gonna say a 6 out of 10, and I'm looking for bigger and better things at Hell in a Cell. Of course, even though they've mentioned what the main event's probably going to be, being Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell, that is not a bad match to watch. Hell in a Cell is always fun. I don't know why they got rid of it previously.
Who knows? It's going to be interesting to see what's set up because, again, we already know Undertaker and Brock are going to come in Hell in a Cell. So that's probably the main event. I'm scared at the fact that I may be right about the Kane versus Seth Rollins. Good Lord. Although I got to say this, at least we don't have to deal with corporate Kane. So
nothing worse
him in the fucking loafers and slacks is just nah. But what else could they bring to the table? I don't know where the Reigns, Jericho, Ambrose thing. That's gonna be a head scratcher. What the fuck are you doing, Bray Wyatt now? It's like the eternal question in WWE. What the fuck do we do with Bray Wyatt now?
Bray Wyatt should have been Mr. Money in the Bank.
He should have hardware. He should have a title. They should have never broken up the Wyatt family to begin with. They probably should have had the tag team belts. It's
regardless, like we're just gonna continuously cycle. WWE story writers they piss me off at times, and that's just the honest truth. So, as far as Night of Champions goes, is it weird that I'm looking more forward to Raw than I was looking forward to Night of Champions?
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but the most exciting thing of this pay-per-view was Jericho's return.
Yeah, and that was just perplexing. That was another thing that was just perplexing to me. Like, and the crowd was really feeling it. And I was just like, I was kind of confused a bit. I mean, I understand Jericho was the man when he was in his heyday. I love fucking Chris Jericho, but I don't like this version much of Y2J. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was a very average. It was a very average filler type of pay-per-view.
Yeah. So we'll definitely lock in, guys, 100%. The Raw coming up. I think it's tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely be covering it. I am not sure 100% if it'll be tomorrow. It might be the next day after that, but this week we will have 100% the Raw review coming out because we need answers to this bullcrap.
Yeah, I definitely need some answers to all that happened because I'm still a little bit confused as to direction. I feel like they end the years flat as hell.
Yeah, to be honest, and I've said this 1,000 times, realistically, you only need to watch the WWE from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania.
Or maybe
you can come back for some. You
SummerSlam,
can come back for SummerSlam. You don't need to watch two SummerSlam.
No, that's
for Mania,
true. You don't need to see those pay-per-view in between. You're right. Royal Rumble.
It's the truth. It's the road to WrestleMania and SummerSlam. That's all you need. And Money in the Bank if you want to have some fun. Money in the Bank spices up the WWE, but shit, did they take a wrong turn giving Sheamus fucking briefcase. But we're not going to complain about that. We're gonna try and keep these episodes a reasonable length. If we want to complain about some WWE bullshit, we have to make some separate videos. But is there anything you want to add on Night of Champions?
No,
before we wrap it up?
Just about it.
All right, well then, I think we'll wrap it up here. Like I said, we'll be back this week to actually do a Raw review. And I just want to everyone watching and everyone that's supported this podcast, like honestly, just want to thank you guys so much. Like, just being able to talk this WWE talk and just say what's on our minds, so much fun. Like, no joke how much fun this is watching Raw. Half the time we're complaining about what they're doing, but regardless, still so much fun.
Yeah, and definitely all you guys who come back and watch and support, we appreciate it. We know we've been pretty much lame with our, the way we've been doing this, but when you guys come and watch and send the likes, it's really appreciated. Seriously.
Yeah. So, we can pretty much say our final goodbyes before, we get out of here.
Yeah, that's pretty much wrapping it up. Again, thank you, everyone, for coming through. Pete, go ahead and say peace to the people.
Yeah, good night, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the pay-per-view a bit more than we did. Remember leaving the comments below what you thought of the pay-per-view, and we'll see you soon.
Definitely. We will see you guys on the next time, hopefully in a couple of days. Once again, thank you, and we will talk to you guys later. Peace.